All right, so welcome to the final tour of the completed Moose. So it's been a few years since we last touched base about the progress of the Moose, and I am on the opposite side of the country. So in this video, I'm going to talk through what we finished up, a little bit of the story of the travel across the country, and the for sale announcement. So let's get into it. Come on in. Alright, so we are inside the Moose after several years of travel and renovation work, and it's a little bit of a sweet and sorrow today because it is being posted for sale. So for the last couple years it has mostly sat in my parking lot, and I just feel I want this thing out doing its thing, adventuring like it used to, and so the Moose has gotta find a new home. So the base chassis, it's a 1995 Ford E350 Turbo Diesel. This is the Powerstroke 7.3 liter turbocharged diesel engine that is famously reliable. It had served its life as an ambulance in Amwell Valley, New Jersey. And because I knew I was going to be living in it full time, I knew I wanted maximum comfort, maximum kind of luxury feel. And so I decided to do a full gut. You know, I didn't leave a single ambulance cabinet in here with the exception of this bottom part right here and these two sliders. That's the only remaining ambulance original in the entire cabin, I believe. Everything else was rebuilt from scratch. So before I started the conversion here, I watched every ambulance conversion video I could find. I looked through all the things that people said they wish they knew ahead of time. One of them being that head clearance, right? So if you were a tall person, this van might not be for you. I'm 5'8", so I have about an inch or so of clearance here, a little bit less so where this wood strip is, but in general, this is me in boots, so you know, you've got about 68, 69 inches of clearance, nice, inside the van standing up. This van was designed to be like over-the-top solar-powered electrical. There's no gas in here. I've got an induction cook stove here. I've got a 12-volt IceCo fridge with dual zones that works either on 12-volt or 110, 120. We've got the MaxxAir fan for venting with the remote. You know, that goes in, that goes out. It's got a little thermostat so it can automatically vent if it's too hot or close up if it reaches the right temperature. All of the cabinets, the storage cabinets for food in the kitchen, the clothes cabinet, all have automatic battery-powered lighting. So when you open it, it senses that motion, turns the lights on. It's a very nice kind of luxurious vibe. So what else have we got in here? So we got a sink. This actually doubles as a great outdoor shower. So if you want to, you know, hook it up outside, you can have your little boot washing station here. We've got our control for our pump and pressure tank in the back. So you clip that until it's fully pressurized. The whole system will take maybe a minute or two to pressurize the tank. And then you've got flowing water, hot and cold. This one is nice because you can flip over to spray mode as well, which I really like. And in the shower, so you've got a handheld sprayer, but you've also got a rain shower. And so this whole thing is a wet shower. Everything can get wet in here, no problem. Even the toilet is fine. This one, what I would usually do is I'd open this door, because this side of the shower actually opens up fully, and you can have a nice indoor-outdoor shower. And you got a rain shower up there as well if you want to toggle over to rain shower mode. All right, here we're in the watershed. So This is where we keep our water system. Here's your fill up. I would literally just use a hose, hose connector here to our kind of fill up thing. Fill it up anywhere. From here, it's gonna pump through your spin down filter into your regular house filter. You got your little C-Flow pump here and your C-Flow pressure tank. Of course, if you need to drain the system, you just open this up right here. The whole thing will drain out. You've got your Bosch 110 electric water heater up at the top there with a 110 volt outlet that you can actually see. All of the outlets in this entire van are GFCI protected. And then I'll show you quickly as well, while we're here, we got the Iceco fridge. So this is also on a little, slide out rack. It's got two sides, so you can set the temperatures independently, or you can turn one off, turn the other one off. I typically have the smaller one as my freezer, the larger one as my fridge. This worked fine for my entire travel across the country. It was a great little addition. On the roof, I have, let me think, so over 1,200 watts of solar. So I've got 3 LG panels, they're each 425 watt. I've got 4 Lion Energy lithium batteries to power the house, and those are about 105 amp hours each, so about 420 amp hours of battery storage. I lived out of this thing for a year. I never saw my house batteries drop below 30%. I mean, never. Over here we've got the Victron battery monitor, so we can see right now we're at 13.2 volts, doing fine. That's looking like we are at here 96% at the end of a day. So, like I said, this thing is just, it's got more power than it knows what to do with, and so much solar. When I was living in here, I was doing a lot of consulting, digital design and filmmaking and interactive learning. So I was online a lot, and I was on my computer a lot. And so I set this desk up to be kind of an efficient computer workstation. So we've got dual monitors here. One of them is in fact a touchscreen, the other is not. And then the computer lives in this little wall mount right behind it. And so basically what you can do is you can take your laptop computer, program it so that it runs when it's closed. It's got this little shelf that it slits into. And then from there, what I actually would do is the power cord for the laptop, you run into these side soffits, and I've got these 2 light switches up here. Now, each one of these turns on and off either your Starlink router or the power brick for your laptop. You can program it to turn on if it detects DC power in. You can do that in the BIOS. And so basically what that meant is my computer lived back there, I never touched it. So I would just come here, slap that one button, that would turn my computer on, turn my whole setup on, work. When I'm done for the day, start, shut down, and then once it's shut down, turn that off. Then I can repeat that process the next day. Just a convenient way to save energy and make sure you're not trickling a little bit of extra energy to your laptop and your whole desk space. Same with the Starlink. So mine's on a little pivot mount. So it's got a little home behind the driver's seat, slots in with some straps to keep it nice and safe. And then when you park up, it's all wired up, ready to go. So you just take your plug it in, slap it in the plug. It literally takes less than 60 seconds. And then one switch over here again, you'll turn on your Starlink router, which also turns on your dish. We've got a computer desk that slides out when you need additional workspace. So the whole idea here is to create like a much larger surface area when you need it. And of course it slides away and locks to get out of your way. And it locks both open and closed. And it just helps. I've done so much work in here that being able to pop that thing out, you just give a little bit of extra surface area has really been beneficial. So let's see, other additions. We got a little 12 volt fan by the desk. It's just USB powered. Inside here, you'll actually see if we look behind these screens, we can lift up and out of the way. We've got 2 little USB outlets. There's Type C in there and regular Type A. These both do fast charging as well, quick charge. So you can just have your little USB devices charging there. I've got little USB charging stations everywhere here. I've got my main breaker panel over here under the Starlink. The cover is somewhere, it's around. But you've got your breakers and your 12 volt fuses. Here's you got your little cubby for storing your towels, your cleaning supplies, bathroom supplies, whatever you'd like, easily accessible, just with a little brace. You've got the ambulance's old electrical system in these cubbies here. Not being an electrician, I didn't really mess with anything here, but you do have a block heater for your diesel engine that works just fine if you plug in. You can keep your vehicle warmed up on a cold night. It does have brand new glow plugs, so it shouldn't be any issues with that anyways. Shouldn't need them. But being a diesel, it doesn't like to start in cold weather unless you run the block heater for a minute or two first. You've got a pass-through to the cab. Now, one of the reasons I went with a van model instead of a truck model is because of this pass-through. I watched so many videos of people where they were basically like, man, I really regret having to get fully dressed, go outside in the rain, the snow, the sleet, the heat, whatever it is, just to walk around to get to the front door. And so the van gives you the option of just walking through, which is really nice. So in the back here, we've got our little bookshelf, little library, little storage spaces for random little knickknacks and so on. If you want a little night light, you've got that. The whole system's lights are also all remote controlled. I've got 2 of these remotes, so I typically would leave kind of one by the entrance and one by the bedroom. So you've got off and on, of course, but then you've also got temperature controls, so you can make it warmer, you can make it cooler, and then of course you've got the dimmer, so you can make it darker or brighter. And if you want to isolate some areas, you can separately isolate the kitchen and the desk area. So the desk can be turned off, the kitchen can be turned off, and you just have your strip lights up top. You can pop just these on, and that just gives you like a little bit more of a darker vibe if you wanted to have the bedroom and the main lights off, but the other side lights on. Down here, I've also got this pass-through. So this actually is one of the exterior storage cubbies. And so what I would do is my most important tools, my most common tools, I would kind of keep them on the rear side of this exterior storage cabinet. And it just helps you get stuff when you need to without having to go around to the outside of the ambulance. And that was a really little convenient addition. You've got a big cubby here. This I really just use as where I keep my backpack, my day pack. So I just kind of throw it in there. You can put like a little elastic strap there if you want to keep it there. There's a little shelf up there. That's usually where I kept my window coverings, the little reflectics to just shield up the windows when you really want to keep cold out or hot out. And then of course you've got your step to get up to your bed. Now the bed was a big part of the inspiration for this whole vehicle was knowing again that I was going to be living in this full time. I wanted to make sure that I had 2 spaces. This bed is actually hooked up to a ceiling mounted garage lift. And so you hand crank it up to the ceiling in about 60 seconds, and then it locks up to the ceiling and you gain access to a whole new living space. So when I was living out of here, keeping this bed up during the day was one of the ways in which I was able to create a very open feeling space in a relatively, I don't want to say a small vehicle, but much smaller than like a typical RV. It almost creates this sense of 2 different rooms. You've got your kind of kitchen office space in the front, then you've got your lounge and your bedroom in the back. So you almost end up with like 3 different rooms. You've got the front area, the bedroom, and then this dinette lounge in the back. When I was traveling across the country, I had a bunch of board games with me. We'd actually have 4 people in here at like a campsite. We'd set up a table, a little folding table. We could play like a whole board game here, leave the back doors open, you get an amazing view of nature. It's great. You know, it's not, obviously you're not gonna be standing up back here, but you know, you easily can pass through to the front of the vehicle. You can still access the fridge if you want to grab a drink or something. And then of course we've got tons of extra storage behind the cabinet here. I've got 2 levels here. Typically this is where I would keep towels, extra, you know, cleaning products. This is actually a really narrow little spot here. That's where I put all the documents for the vehicles. So all the paperwork, all the, you know, maintenance reports, all of that. You've got tons of storage underneath. I've got kind of random junk in here now, but fire extinguisher. I had winter supplies here. I had a snowboard in there at one point. So on the driver's side bench, you'll get access to your brand new EcoFlow Wave 3 Delta battery powered air conditioner. So that air conditioner is a heat pump, so it can be both a heater and an air conditioner. This has been one of the really nice upgrades that I've put in lately. So that's that battery system. What that effectively means is that air conditioning unit has its own battery that it will touch before it even touches the house batteries. So that's another 100 amp hour battery running the EcoFlow Delta Wave 3. It could probably run it by itself on low. They claim up to 8 hours. I think it's more realistically like 3 or 4 hours. But frankly, again, I'll just plug that into my 110 and let it run at max power, and it's fine. You know, it's no problem, especially if you're on a sunny day and it's charging up at the same time. So that's been a really nice addition. I used to actually have my cat litter box because, of course, when I was here, my cat was traveling with me. So this little flap was actually for him to get to his litter box. So in there, I had the diesel heater and my cat's litter box so that it was out of the way. Of course, I made a mistake by having the diesel heater's intake in the same cubby as where my cat was using the toilet. And so there was one winter night where the diesel heater was on maximum and the cat had a big problem, and the entire van filled up with that smell instantly through the heater. So that was quite a night, I'll tell you that. But the new system, you've got a heat pump from EcoFlow there, Bluetooth controlled for all of it. Same with all the Victron electronics, all Bluetooth controlled, so you can monitor your usage. You can see how much you're using through the inverter. You can see how much your batteries are being pulled or charged. You can see your solar controller, all from a Bluetooth app. When I was here, I actually had a tablet that I just magnetic to the side of the van here. So I had like my van controlling hub right kind of built in. I still have it. It's a very old tablet, but it'll come with this van so that everything's already set up. And something I forgot to mention before, of course, is there's GPS tracking on this van. So there's a hidden GPS tracker wired into the van's 12-volt system. It's from Silver Cloud, so whoever buys this van will have to switch the account over to your account. Same with the Starlink, that does need an active subscription plan. So this is the beating heart of the Moose, right? And so when I built this system, I intentionally wanted it to be a very overkill system, more than what I thought I would need. I wanted the ability to add air conditioning in the future, which I have now done. So we've got 4 of these lithium-ion energy batteries. You literally can just press them once to check their battery charge at any time. This whole system was designed by a company, so they design the schematics, they send you every single component, they spec it out exactly for you, and then I assemble it following their instructions. So in here, you've got your MPPT, your solar charge controller. That's basically taking your energy from your solar panels in and sending it out to these batteries to keep them topped up. I've also got over here our DC-DC Orion charger, so that's actually tying into the vehicle's batteries. However, I have it disconnected because I never needed it. So your inverter down there is inverting DC from the batteries over to AC for your higher voltage appliances, so that'll be your 110, 120 outlets. In this van, that's really going to be your water heater, the electric water heater that I've got in the back. That's going to be the induction cooktop stove. And when you flip those 2 switches that I showed earlier, it'll be your laptop, your Starlink dish and modem router that you can see just mounted up there to the pivot point. But it does have a Bluetooth controller. So I never came out here and flipped this on and off. I just leave it on out here, and from inside the van, on my phone, on my tablet, there's just a digital on-off switch that you could turn this on and off. And of course, you can always hit your main 110 volt, 120 volt breaker, and that'll kill the high voltage power to the whole system. You can run the whole van through that inverter off of this little hookup here. And so we've got a 20 amp hookup there. So from here, you plug into any household 110, 120 volt outlet, and you're charging your solar batteries, and you're powering the entire vehicle. So this is your main kind of exterior storage. This is where I had all of my tools while I was traveling here. But most importantly, the telescoping ladder. So it sits on these little brackets here. It's got this little strap system to keep it in place. This is how I get up to the roof. So if I'm cleaning my solar panels, this little ladder just telescopes up and you just climb up. I've actually got grip tape up on the roof there. It's a very narrow little stepping space around, but there's a little bit more space in the middle by the vent where you can kind of set up your cleaning supplies. And those cleaning supplies are all coming with this van as well. So I got the long squeegee, a long pole to scrub things, and keep your panels clean, and there you go. All right, so one of the first things I did in this van was a bunch of tech upgrades. So it's a 1995, obviously, so pretty limited in terms of what came with the van. More importantly, it's also got this enormous box behind it with zero visibility. Today, I've got visibility everywhere. So the first upgrade here is the Wolf Box dash cam and front and rear camera. So this is a full touchscreen. It records, so it'll record automatically in the instance of an accident. It's a full dash cam, front and rear, 2K, I believe, dash cam with a touchscreen interface, so you can swipe through the different modes. So you've got your forward camera there that you can see. You swipe it again, that's your rear camera. You can kind of adjust the angle. So if you're, backing up and you want to see kind of below you, you can kind of angle the camera down. Or what I like the most to get the full uncropped image is the side-by-side view, and then you get the full reverse and the full front view. And again, that red light indicates that it's currently recording, and of course it's tied to a GPS as well. So that's all powered through this little hub here, this little USB hub. And so you've got 3 controls for your 3 different dash cam setups. The left and right one are for these 2 little screens, which are magnetic. So I can just pop these off to show you. These are just basic, very simple reversing cameras that I actually installed on these little magnetic phone holders, with the cameras being wired in to each mirror. So they're on the outside of each mirror. You have no blind spots with these 2 cameras. I actually ended up relying on these more than the mirrors themselves. The mirrors themselves I did change out from the original school bus style to these folding RV truck mirrors. There you go, you can see the little camera on the outside of that, so there's the view inside. And then another upgrade, of course, is inside the doors to JL audio speakers. You won't be able to see them, but the sound system has been greatly improved from the original horrible clanky thing that was in here. You've got a little pop-out cup holder there. The original ambulance console here works fine, but most of by law, the guy who sold it to me had to remove a lot of the siren lights, those kind of strobes and so on. So we do have controls for the scene lighting. So that's the main floodlights on the left, right, and rear of the vehicle. So those work fine. And everything else, the switches are all in there. So you could very easily wire this up to new light bars or light switches. The only thing I've got in here is just a little switch for the brights, the little extra off-road lights on the front. So I've just got a single switch for those, and then you've got this little pull turn for the regular lights, which I also changed out for LEDs as well. So you've got much brighter standard driving lights for the vehicle for regular day-to-day use. And then finally, we've got the nice seat covers. The seats were actually in pretty good condition. I just like this kind of color, this like faux leather. I thought this was a little bit nicer of a vibe. The vehicle's in surprisingly good condition given how old it is. You've got the extra floor mats for really rugged weather and so on. So that catches everything, all the mud and dirt, makes it easier to keep clean. And most importantly, a full Android Auto touchscreen tablet with wireless Android Auto, voice activation using your smart assistant, navigation, GPS, Spotify, whatever you want. It's right there on this little adjustable screen, and so it's just a great addition. Very cheap. This is like some no-name brand thing, but it was the only one that I could get that perfectly fit into this this vehicle, and yeah, works great. So we won't get copyrighted here, but there you go. Full touchscreen, full navigation, and I forgot. I actually purchased these little Bluetooth-powered, battery-powered controls that I synced up to this. So in addition to your existing cruise control, which, believe it or not, actually works, on a 1995 ambulance, you've got functioning cruise control above a certain speed. You also have Bluetooth controls, so you can press a button, pick up a phone call, hang up a phone call, next track, previous track, volume up or down, pause, play, all of those straight from these Bluetooth controls. And yeah, this whole electronics package, there's a kind of master switch here, which will turn off your 3 camera setups. This is wired in with vehicle power, so that's turned off there. And then importantly, you have this master green button right here, and that is the kill switch for the vehicle's power. That's the 2 batteries under the hood. Those are not connected to the house at all. It's 2 completely different systems. The only way they ever tie together is if you manually connect them to charge up your vehicle from the solar power, or if you connect the alternator charger to the batteries. What I found is, because it's an ambulance, there's little parasitic drains everywhere in this vehicle. There's probably tons and tons of wiring that are just adding to little parasitic drains. So if you're not running the vehicle regularly, these batteries do start to drain. I did just put a brand new pair in them. So these 2 batteries that are in here are in perfect condition, brand new, as of, I think, last year, maybe 2023, summer of 2023, but I have they haven't been used at all since then. So they're in great condition. And yeah, so to keep them safe, to keep them fully disconnected, 1 click, the whole thing is disconnected, and you'll hear the circuits switch off in the back. So yeah, there's your master kill switch for your vehicle system. You can get a quick readout on your vehicle battery right there. So we're sitting at 12.4 volts currently, which looks pretty good. And we'll do a quick engine turnover just to confirm that it works. So it is a diesel, of course, so you want to wait until your wait for start button is disappeared. And then, wonderful sounds. That's that 7.3 turbo diesel. Now, something to note here is this vehicle comes equipped with Charge Protect. So if it detects that the charge is a little bit low, you can actually hear it start to rev up. So it'll rev higher to keep the vehicles charged. Let's give it a little listen. This thing has some get up and go to it. But yeah, it's just a really cool, unique build. I love it. I'm gonna miss it, but it's just not getting any use, and diesels don't do good if you just let them sit around. So I want to get it out back on the road again. I'm not gonna be able to do that, so somebody's gonna have to take it off my hands. It is open to negotiation, so if you're interested at all, reach out, let me know what you're able to do, and happy to discuss. So.